Well, okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're basically just go straight back into it. OMG and Team World Elite here, semifinals of WCG 2013 here in Kunshan. I'm Forecourt Jester. With me here is going to be Whiplash, and does look like we have resolved the issues. Now, to catch you up a little bit here, guys, we just had Elise gank into the mid against Oriana, and Oriana, believe it or not, did not even use that flash. So we're going to disregard all of that stuff that we said before, but it did get out the ignite there from Cool, and it looks like business is normal here in the bot lane. That 2v1 going for that tower real early.
Indeed, and it looks like so far Oriana just continuing to farm that mid lane, looking to see if we have anything. No, Gragas is heading back towards there, and overall the creep kills are looking pretty even in that mid lane. And we see at least just continuing the chill in the jungle. A few pings looking top, but here comes
Kennen.
Kennen, that's the hero name. Kennen. We were talking a little bit about over the break. He's got a lot of cool lightning abilities.
Yeah, and bottom lane, again, like the 5-minute tower used to be like really, really big way back when, before they actually made really big changes into the tower race. But OMG going to be taking the first tower extremely early. That's, you know, Rumble just can't seem to deal with Fiddlesticks and Ezreal, and for good reason. Like, it's just a lot of CC coming out from Fiddle, and Rumble can't deal with that. And here's the 3v1 scenario up top. Clearlove's going to go in.
All right, Kennen's got to be very careful in this situation, and there's the first blood almost immediately. Doesn't matter there, just free the dive on that tower.
That was really good there from Fizzif there, that Annie, because he was actually tanking out the tower shots. That was allowed Clearlove to get in and basically just assassinated the little Yordo. Absolutely had no chance, and that was the danger I was talking about. That 3v1 collapse, making yourself a sandwich, and first blood tastes real good right now.
It certainly does. And Elise actually has to be a little bit careful in that top lane, already moving back towards the jungle. And as we look to the bottom lane, we have Rumble just still continuing to the farm up in the bot lane, but we are starting to see some pressure from OMG on the spot tower.
Yeah, again, like Ezreal and Fiddlesticks, they got a lot of long-range abilities available to them, and if they do catch out Rumble, it could be basically a death because of the 20 years of fear that he does bring to the table. But again, like that tower damage going down really early on the bottom lane. They did get OMG the gold, but they did drop first blood to Team World Elite, as well as the top tower. Pretty expected stuff. Very likely to see rotations, but because we pushed up this bottom so hard, Loveland comes in here. We're going to get ourselves a really early dragon at the 6.5-minute mark.
Yeah, and the dragon completely uncontested, and you know, there's not really too much vision as well from Team World Elite to even spot that, and as well as the lanes, you know, they're completely pushed out, so even if they knew about Dragon, could they even really punish that Forecourt Jester?
Well, that's one of the dangers of putting your ADC and your support top, because if you lose out your bottom extremely quick, you are going to just have the sheer numbers to take the Dragon early, and yeah, there's basically nothing World Elite could do about that, because they were so pushed, and now you see the lane swaps coming in as well. It is going to be the one-on-one, the 2v2 bottom now. It's just like they got that objective, and OMG, I mean, they might be down that first blood, but they got the dragon, so they're actually up in gold.
Yeah, I've noticed that ever so slightly up in gold, and maybe a little bit of action towards the river, but just some wards saying hi to each other in the river. And we do see Kennen against
Rumble.
Rumble up in the top lane. Is continuing to do their 1v1 fight. Well, actually, I are seeing Kennen kind of move and rotate towards the mid lane, potentially going for a gank on the Oriana. Gragas is preparing as well.
Well, you know, going there does have his level 6, but the problem is you spotted out by a ward. So Messiah, he's well aware that there's going to be a Kennen there in the bush, even though we got it pink warded from OMG. And you know, going might think he is actually really safe there. He's really not. So nothing's actually going to happen there. But Kennen, he has a decent creep lead over top of Rumble because he was able to save a farm a little bit safer in his 2v1 matchup. Whereas Rumble just kept getting pushed back farther and farther back. So, you know, Kennen, he's content to push it up and try to do some roam, try to get a few more kills here for OMG because they're still looking for their first.
Yeah, indeed, they do need to eventually get some kills. In the bot lane, we just see Lucian continuing to get some farm up, you know, really starting to rack up those kills. But we have a rotation potentially moving towards the mid lane from the Team World Elite. Gragas, they're pinging on him. It looks like he could be potentially in some trouble if he's not aware of the skank in time.
Now the key here is, does Vi actually have level 6? And she does. Clearlove does have the Assault and Battery, which means they can lock down the Gragas with that Assault and Battery and then attach the ball from Oriana, and it becomes a ball delivery system. And that is a lot of actual lockdown. Should easily be the kill because they also got the Equalizer there from Calme. But The problem here is that Vi actually did walk through a ward back at the top lane, so they kind of knew that the rotation was coming, and now World Elite does get out that the Dragon is gone, so at least they're going to get the timer.
And at least for now, for OMG, Gragas is perfectly safe. He does know about these heroes kind of rotating around that mid lane, and dashing back, drinking up a little bit just to keep extra safe. And as we move towards the bottom lane, it is a 2v2 scenario, just kind of back and forth.
That hotkey screen, man.
Yeah, the hotkeys can be pretty important, man. Gotta know about them.
Hotkeys.
Spectator hotkeys, gotta know about them.
So yeah, World Elite down here. I mean, Lucian and Annie, after they got their top tower, not really too much of a surprise that they actually did swap here into the bot, because now it is more the standard matchup of the 1-1-2 lanes. And in terms of the farm, it's actually Lucian getting a little bit ahead from Ezreal here, up to 87 compared to 78. Also has that assist, but at the same time, OMG has their Dragon Gold under their belt. So I'm actually not, it's probably not that different in terms of the farm between them, and still OMG holding fast to this gold lead.
Yeah, indeed, holding on that gold lead. I think that getting that dragon as well as pushing those lanes out early on is kind of helped them. Despite that first blood, but the OMG they do need to eventually start getting some kills here, as it's actually been somewhat of a passive game. All right, so towards the bot lane, just continuing the farm up. Ezreal on Fiddlesticks, killing off some of the creeps, and looks like the bottom lane has been abandoned by Team World Elite. And they are going to start the rotate from that while getting some items as well.
All right, yeah, so OMG and World Elite are just going to be duking it out. Haven't really seen too much more aggression coming out from these guys, but Gragas does have himself Chalice as well as the Codex, so he is well on his way to doing an Athene's in the next few moments here. So coming back into this, a big difference right now in terms of the farming is Kennen versus Rumble. I mean, Kennen does have that first death. He's actually the only death between these guys, but he has close to a 20 creep lead over top of Rumble. And Rumble has a little bit of penetration, and here's a good shot of the crowd here, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot of the overflow coming into the game, and everyone is just like all this energy, looking for the win here. Is it going to be OMG? Is it going to be WE? And yesterday we had the OMG fan crowd here. It's like,
they were
signs,
cheering,
the flags,
hooting, hollering.
The signs. It was just amazing stuff. And World Elite versus OMG. I do believe I had the producer in my ear saying something about we got to transition to this screen. So seems to be something else going in and around the place. But
maybe they just want to show off some of the crowd. It's very possible.
I mean, I'm kind of jealous of that food right now.
Actually, we should just start commentating on their food scenario. All right, they're looking at the menu. Forecourt Jester, what are they going to order?
They're on the Plantronics booth, and we got half the crowd here from
there
NVIDIA.
You go. Cutting the crowd the wave.
Plantronics. You seem to be very popular with the Asian scene there, Whiplash.
I mean, it's just I guess it's who I am. They love me for some reason. I don't know why, but I appreciate all the love.
So yeah, I'm not entirely too sure what actually happened here. I think. Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Well, if they're going to show the back of our faces,
I don't know.
Might as well do a little bit of trolling.
I have no idea what this is.
Sorry guys, we can't commentate the game because
right now we are beyond the game, my friend.
Oh my God, we are beyond the game.
We're totally beyond the game.
We are at WCG 2013 Shanghai. Not Shanghai, actually, just China.
Shanghai's where the airport is.
Yeah, that's true. We actually
Very clean airport, I gotta say.
We were 2 hours away from Shanghai.
More or less.
To be honest.
Yeah, had some amazing local cuisine the other day, and just like the roasted lamb. It's like, I'm not a fan of lamb, but if I had lamb like that every day in Canada, I would definitely eat that.
Oh yeah, we did have some excellent food last night, and before then, I was pretty much just eating Korean food.
Not a surprise, you live in Korea.
True, I mean, I have become very adjusted to Korean cuisine, and they had a few Korean barbecue places around the area, so I did start eating food, from my adopted motherland.
The adopted motherland. Yeah, this whole event, you're always just like, yeah, Team USA, yeah, Team USA, and then you come to League of Legends, it's like, yeah, USA's not here, man. You're like, no!
Well, I have to go backpedal, like, all right, well, go Korea or go Viva la Mexico.
Yeah, Team Mexico, yeah.
Team Mexico, yeah.
Lion Gaming is just like, their story is just phenomenal story, tell you that.
Oh.
But back to the Plantronics crowd. You can see our camera, the Korean commentators there in the bottom left as well. Such great energy from them sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's That's always been traditional Korean casting style. They love to have a ridiculous amount of energy. And something that's actually really interesting is if you try to emulate a Korean casting style in English, it totally doesn't work.
No, no. R.I.P. Motrap.
But, I mean, it's been tried. People who are good at both languages, they kind of know what's going on. And, hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, we're already back into the game. So looks like we had some kills during our camera downtime.
All right, that was something in my ear. It doesn't actually look like too much happened here, but OMG and World Elite still going neck and neck. 3-2, I just noticed is the score.
All right.
So Jessica taking pain there.
Now we do have Tibbers being spawned, and now not anymore. She's kind of gone away. Ezreal going to stay alive in the bottom lane, continuing the farm up. And as well in the bottom lane, we do have a few pings towards that lane. Will we see any type of rotation from mid Oriana?
Well, she was thinking about it, but there is a ward there. Is going to catch her out. Not entirely too sure if she can actually do any kind of rotation because there is so much vision in this river. Look how many wards actually in the river for both teams. But the last time we saw this, it was 1-0. Now it's actually sitting up at 4-2, but it's still OMG with the gold lead. You see that Athene's now on Gragas, and the 15-minute Trinity coming out from Ezreal as well. He's actually really kept up with his farm. And the last time we looked at him, it was Lucian at 0-0-1. Now it's Ezreal 2-0-1. That bottom lane is just starting to get a little bit murdered.
Down, despite the similar count. Indeed, we do see Ezreal with that 2-0 lead over Lucian. And that's going to really help him out as we progress towards the later stages of the game. And things are looking to potentially get a little bit dicey. It's the mid-top area.
Hashtag dicey.
Hashtag dicey.
Shout out to Mr. Bitter. But we also got Elise. She's going to be roaming on that jungle. She does have one ward there at one entrance. She also has an Oracle, so she's looking to do a little bit of counter ward. The top lane does have Fiddlesticks and Kennen up there, and they take down another tower. So that's going to put us a count to 2 and 1. Loveland is just waiting to gank someone.
Yeah, he wants to get the game. At least just waiting, like a spider ready to pounce. Well, at least in League of Legends, the spider does tend to pounce.
She's spinning her web.
She's just preparing her cocoon.
Exactly.
All right, here we go. Looks like Rumble's got to get out of there, but the stun's good. And an immediate kill, making it look easy. OMG now taking a 5-2 lead over Team World Elite.
Random true shot barrage coming out from Neme, but fortunately just Rumble kind of melted under the 3-for-1 pressure. The slicing maelstrom just got off all those stuns, which just allowed us to get in with the fears, the silences, and then you saw the repel from Elise as well. Yeah. Really good gank, but bottom lane.
Forcing the flash, and Ezreal actually going to turn it around and doing a little bit of damage. And Grosk is going to come in and try to throw some barrels, scaring away World Elite. It looks like that gank not going to be too effective at all.
Yeah, that explosive barrel didn't actually hit anybody at all. The good news is they kept the tower alive, and Ezreal did have to use that flash, but he didn't drop the kill, and that's kind of what we were looking for there. With that assault and battery coming in from Clear Love, you really only kind of use that when you need to buy time for your team to come in and finish them off, but the follow-up was just kind of a little lackluster from World Elite, so, OMG, Name is able to just get out of that. And again, like, that guy took MVP from the LPL last week, and, like, he knows his stuff.
Certainly does. All right, well, OMG, they have rotated a little bit to the mid lane, looking to get a bit more aggressive. It doesn't look like they want to push the tower just yet. And a Dragon will be respawning pretty soon, about a minute and a half left before he comes around. And we're seeing a gank from Team World Elite getting ready to be set up, but it is spotted. And look at that. Nice maneuvering out of there, but it's not going to be enough from the look of things. Ezreal gets slain, and looking like we're going to see a little bit more farm on Lucian.
That was a really good position for Ezreal because he was able to arcane shift over that clump of trees, but Annie and Tibbers, especially with that wind-up stun, it's kind of hard to do anything else after that. And we saw Wei Xiao just throw out the culling, basically just for the fun of it at the end of it. He just barely got the kill on top of Ezreal. But hey, a kill is a kill. That allows them to get the tower. It's going to put some much-needed gold in the pockets of Team World Elite. That puts them up, actually puts them up to the negative 4,000. But hey, it's better than -6 that were just a moment ago.
Indeed, and in the mid lane, we're having another gank on Rumble. He's going to fall once more. And OMG, they're just able to totally demolish Rumble. They're not afraid the tower dive, and it always seems like he's caught out alone. Doesn't really have any support from his team, and it's just unfortunate because he's starting to give away these skills here and there. The OMG.
OMG has a lot of crowd control under the name.
Oh,
Loveland!
nice steal.
Loveland with the blue steal. Just casually walks up, steals the blue, and walks away. It's just, that is something to behold. Oriana, though.
Moving towards center, trying to do some damage, but we have some good damage coming from Kennigan. He's going to try the flash out. Can he escape? No! Shut down as Lucian gets the kill. And, backing away.
Yeah, at least is able to repel to the creeps, just slightly off camera there, but you heard the cheer, at least we heard the cheer from the other side of this venue, and oh my goodness, was that ever deafening for that death on top of Kennen. But, OMG, they have a lot of control under the belt. Like, they got the fiddlesticks, he's seen the stun counters going up and up here from going, and the repositioning from Cool on, from that explosive cast. Like, they can do a lot of picks. Do we actually have the Crow Storm ready to go? Jessica might actually come in here to help out the team. We've got to keep an eye on that fiddlesticks in the corner.
It's going to become a tense situation. Can OMG get the kill? All right, Crow Storm moving forward here. And is it going to be enough? Lots of DPS coming out from Team OMG. Rumble low on health, forced to retreat, at least for the time being. And
the only kill is actually going to be that Vi. That's actually impressive.
Very
but
impressive.
The Crow Storm didn't really hit the people that he needed to. Like, the fight wasn't in the Dragon Pit. It was actually a bit more but the Annie comes out. Name just shuts down that Annie whatsoever. I mean, that Tibbers was, like, really, really key right there.
Well-timed plays. And Kennigan going to move forward. Two-shot barrage from Ezreal. And look at that. OMG. Oh, my God.
That's basically the only way to put that. 4 kills to 1 for that exchange. You see the flashing health bars on Jessica. You see the flashing health bar on Name. And I'm not actually sure why that says OMG Jessica. It should be Calmay, but I suspect it is actually Calmay, just playing on a separate named account. Another Dragon going under the belt of OMG. And these team fights from World Elite are just looking a little sloppy.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are. They did get the first blood, but following that up and, a few good ganks in the bottom lane, it seems like OMG overall has simply been outperforming Team Wii when it comes to those team fights. And now, they've got more towers. They've gotten Dragon twice, despite Team World Elite trying to get the second Dragon. Things are just starting to look, really shaky for World Elite.
Well, I mean, we were looking at the gold differences a few times here. I mean, they're up about $1 grand, and they're up about $5 grand. Now they're almost up 10,000 gold over top of World Elite.
Yeah.
That after you start hitting the 6 digits of gold difference, it starts becoming an extremely steep path to climb, because if you want to get that comeback, you got this gigantic mountain of gold that you got to get over, and it's not that often that we actually see that happen.
We did see Team World Elite try to attempt to gank Gragas in the top, but he decides no chance. He's going to pour it home, regroup with his team. But we do see most of them kind of heading towards mid. Ezreal just continuing the farm bot, and, as the carry, keep farming up, man. You're doing good, just fine with that 4-1-3 score.
Well, they see Lucian at the top, and they see the double of World Elite here in the mid. They do got a ward, and you can see Fiddlesticks off doing a ward on the enemy blue again. So something that we have been seeing from a lot of the Asian teams this weekend, especially from China, especially from Korea, is their immaculate buff control. It's like, usually you see a 2-2 split, but more often than not with these Chinese and Korean teams, it's like a 4-0 split. I mean, they own their blue and they own your blue, and there's very little you can actually do about it.
OMG, it looks like they were setting up to potentially gank bot. Should any World League heroes try to move out a little bit too far, but it looks like the trade-off will simply be a tower that World Elite, they can't really contest this full core Jester.
Yeah, Oriana's still in the middle. Gragas is just playing interference over there. And, I mean, Ezreal right now with that Trinity and the Blade of the Ruin King with cooldown boots, like, it's extremely hard to duel him, but he also hits like a truck. And these towers are just melting. 5 towers to 2 for OMG. More gold in the pocket of the first Chinese seed. And, yeah, I mean, if you catch those rotations, that's why they're in that tri-bush there, or that ward bush. They were looking for a rotation for a pick to kind of keep going. Keep the pain train going after that first tower. But they didn't get anyone, but they still got the tower. If we do have another team fight and OMG has, like, a massive advantage, like 2-3 trade out for 0, we might even see a Baron. Yeah,
definitely possible with the Baron. And there's a lot of potential fighting that could happen in a Team World Elite's top jungle. And they're trying to rush forward towards Fiddlestick. Oh, they're going on the Elise, and the initiation's pretty good, but we're seeing so much tankiness. Rumble getting feared, and just loads of AoE damage going on. OMG. And it looks like Jessica will indeed fall. We're seeing Kennen move forward and trying to get some damage done. Lots of low health. Triple though on
Oh my
Ezreal.
god. Could this be a penta? Come on, Nemai. Do the penta. The Koreans are going for it as well.
One
But
more.
Going takes it away from him. Damn him.
Orianna, the lone remaining survivor from World Elite, and barely with any health left, forced to retreat. It looks like OMG, they may try to chase down Orianna, but at the same time, they're also free to push top, bottom lane. And Ezreal actually spots Orianna. She's going to try the escape, but ace on the Ezreal and World Elite. Is there any coming back from this point?
2 team fights in a row that they have not even remotely traded well. Another tower is going to go down. That blue buff was stolen out by the Gragas as well. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to take that back. They don't need a Baron. Like, they can use that Baron as a baiting tool here for World Elite, because when you do get down in the dumps like this, you got to make, like, desperation plays. Could be a desperation Baron later on, but man, OMG is just in fantastic form, and part of the reason there is not only their positioning, but as well as their item advantage. Like, look at this Kennen. Kennen has had the Zonia's Hourglass forever. He has an Abyssal plus the Sork boots on top of that. He's in fine form. We got the tankiness from Elise. We got the tankiness coming out from Fiddle with both the Kindle Gem as well as the Sightstone. Ezreal has a Last Whisper. He's hitting like a 4x4 that has a spike at the end of it. Like, you just don't stand up after that. And Gragas has a death cap on top of his Athenes, on top of a Haunting, guys. It's overwhelming damage at this point.
All right, well, it looks like Elise is going to go ahead and move in on Orianna. Backs out for at least a second, and it's once again another team fight. And World Elite is just running away. They do not want to fight OMG in this scenario, and, you know, let's be honest, they really don't want to.
Well, Vi getting deleted like that means that they lose their initiation. They lose that ball delivery system that they really do kind of want to use to their advantage, because if OMG clumps up and you can get an excellent shockwave, that is just, you know, really good positioning for your Tibbers, for your equalizer. But, you know, Vi got deleted, Rumble used the equalizer. We still have the Tibbers, thank goodness, but I mean, it's just looking worse and worse for World Elite, because now we got a Baron on the table.
Yeah, with the Baron global buff for OMG, things are just going to be, if you thought you could fight, you can't.
He's going to go for the kill.
True Shot Barrage trying
Nice.
to go on any, but no, Orianna going to provide a bit of extra support. And Lucian actually way far away from the rest of his team on the opposite side of the map, doing a bit of jungling, going to go ahead and return home, at least for the time being.
Kind of needs to. You got to put up some kind of defense here, otherwise OMGs are going to steamroll over this.
All right, so Forecourt Gesture, is this the time to try to push towards one of these, you know, middle towers?
We've been seeing a lot of split push strategies, like a 4-1 strat from a lot of the different Asian teams, but typically you see that with like the top laner, and that would have been Kennen in this regard. But I think, you know, Kennen, he does a lot of damage. That's an invisible dragon, but it's there, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. You can see kind of like the 4-1 split still going on, but it's not Kennen. It's going to be Ezreal up in this top lane. I mean, Ezreal is 8-1 and 5, and with loads of damage to spare. I mean, even if somebody came in 1-on-1, like Name, he's just going to delete them. So you can go 2-on-1, but if you go 2-on-1, the 4-man gank squad from OMG is just going to crush one of your towers, and that True Shot Barrage is just doing overwhelming damage. That was the entire creep wave. Like, what do you do against that kind of split push situation? So I would have expected to see that, but everyone actually wants to go home. They got more cash. I suspect the final push will be coming fairly shortly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that going. OMG just, you know, filling up their pockets with a little bit more cash, and gold going to secure a blue buff as well on Elise.
Nah, I think it's going to go Gragas.
Oh, okay.
Gragas seems to be taking it a lot. I mean, he only has the one cooldown item from the Athenians, so that extra blue buff will bring him to the max cooldown of 40%, and Gragas with 40% cooldown reduction and infinite mana is really hard to deal with. Like, he has fantastic poke. He's going to have those explosive casks up whenever he basically wants, and he's regenerating all of his health and all of his mana, so you can't even counter poke him. Like, you can't wait him out, you can't counter poke him, and he just ends up destroying your front line.
All right, well, it looks like OMG, they've pinged the mid. It's time for them to move in towards the mid tower.
And he's not even here.
And he's not even around their World Elite. They can't fight, and here comes in the Crow Storm. True Shot Barrage as well, doing some damage. And it looks like Gragas on a killing spree, just absolutely decimating the mid tower as well. Looks like just everything is simply falling apart. There's nothing that World Elite can do. They only have 2 players left. Lucian comes back, but I mean, it's just looking absolutely terrible for World Elite.
I'm watching these Qs come out from Ezra, his Mystic shots, and he just hit Messiah for 25% hit points. Like, he was burning as well because of the red buff, as well as his stats are a little bit boosted from the Baron, but I mean, you saw the double AoE comp coming out. You had the Grow Storm, you had the Slicing Maelstrom, it just absolutely deleted Vi. That's 2 fights in a row now that the initiator from World Elite is gone. And, 5-on-4 is hard enough, but Messiah getting chunked down like that.
And just, World Elite, they're doing their best, trying to do a little bit of damage, but look at that. Kennen is just absolutely, can't even do any damage to them. They're trying to do some good damage to every
just got deleted.
Deleted, erased from the actual code files.
Like one Barrow took out 70% of his hit points. It was just sickening to watch. Cool on that Gragas doing amazing work. And Tibbers, no chance. Tibbers actually got smited there.
Gragas is just tanking this tower damage, no problem. Actually getting a bit low on health. Now the tower will fall, and it's down to the main Nexus. Can they indeed get that? It looks like this is the last stand for World Elite. They're doing their best, but I mean, they did at least force OMG back temporarily, but I don't even think it's going to matter at this point.
They killed the Fiddlesticks. Elise is kind of out of the picture. Name is almost like going 3-on-1, but here comes Go going. That equalizer again, just not the positioning that they want. Cool's now coming back because he has a little bit of that regeneration under his belt. Go going is just starting to absolutely delete that Annie, but it doesn't even matter. GG going to be here for game number 1.